What is up, boys and girls? We are live on Big Ass Slate Dead Ball Tuesday. So we were just talking. I talked about it in my article. We were just talking in Discord, and Computer pointed out, right, like every game is 8.5 to 7.5 short of the Dodger game. So I have a feeling we're going to get the dead ball tonight. Imagine if the Rangers lineup besides Seager could do anything.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I have 5-man, the Rangers, and Seager was the only one to score points.
Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, that was a interesting spot for me today. I was literally just telling Smitty, if you listen to the show, I literally said bet Seager for 2 home runs. He was going yard twice, and I got busy and just didn't put it in. So, like, I'm still annoyed by that. So, interesting though, 13 gamer. Pitching doesn't suck, but it's highly, like, ownership's highly stuck right now. So I'm gonna let me get over here to pitching. All right. So, hey, what the heck? All right. Let's start at the top. Right. Let's do the expensive. We only got 3 guys above 9K. Right. We got Cole, Wheeler, Gill. And no one is playing Gill. For me, that's a play-in. For me, they got a fantastic ump. Barry's behind the plate. Now, Cleveland isn't a crazy K team. That being said, right, give me a guy that's going to be, a quarter owned. Versus there, I get the Cole love, and I definitely have him in GPP, but the Angels versus left-handed pitching have struck out way less lately, and Atlanta is lineup dependent for me. But same, like they kind of got their shit together, and I just think there's a lot of other really good, solid options here today.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really love any of the top 3. I think, like you mentioned, Gill is interesting, especially Cleveland's been struggling lately, so I don't mind going there. I have Reagan's. I'm under the field, but mainly just because we have the salary, so I'm fine with him.
Yep. As we start moving through, for me, I really like. So I'll go to Ray. I'll go to my guy. I'm avoiding Ray today. I think Ray's in single entry. I think Ray's going to end up 40-50% owned, and I just don't throw a 40 to 50% owned pitcher in single entry.
Yeah, I agree. I'll be around the field in large field, but he probably won't make my main lineup. It's a good matchup, but he's also been giving up a lot of power. Just the K upside for his price is nice.
Yeah, so I get it. That's why I think everybody's going to go there. So the KC game's interesting to me. We'll talk about it a little bit. I don't hate going the other, other direction there. I like KC tonight. I also don't hate throwing Anderson against him just because if KC gets some steam, it's there. My pay down guys, salary dumps. This is where I'll go to next. I like Carson tonight for a salary dump. I like Boyd for a salary dump. Those are the spots. Like if I'm going to pay down, those are probably the 2 spots I'm going to go pay down at.
Yeah, I don't mind those at all. I'm getting to Assad and Estes as well for pay downs. Gross, but they have good matchups.
Yeah, I like both the sides. I kind of like a little Tampa Bay tonight because I think some people are going to get to Estes in like single entry 3 max. The spot I like because it's gross and dirty is I like Pavetta. I like Pavetta in this spot. I think it's a good matchup. Nobody's playing him right now. He's $7,800. I think this is the kind of slate, you skip him. And listen, it's Houston. I get it, but Pavetta's looked pretty good this second half. So that's the spot there. So these kind of slates, I condense my ownership, right? I take my ownership. I say, hey, I'm going to condense it down because I don't want to have too many choices, right? Like, do I really want to go throw Quintana against Baltimore? No. right? Do I want to throw Kramer against the Mets? No, right? I'm not messing with Barrios, right? I don't really want any Ober versus San Diego. I don't hate a little Bryce versus the Dodgers. Miller looked good. I don't want to throw Lopez. I'm not on Keller. I'm not Bradford, right? Like Shane hasn't been himself yet. I don't think we get the real Shane Bass till next year. So that's kind of where I'm landed right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna have a tighter pitching pool, and because on this slate, I just see those guys being optimal. But I do like Pavetta as well, and I don't mind getting to a little Baz, just hoping he gets me 6 to 7 Ks out of nowhere. But that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, and right now, keep in mind, right? Somebody's playing a lot of lineups, right? When we're talking SE and 3 max, right? Like I want that pool condensed, and if we're right, fantastic. We hit it. We kind of hit the nuts, and if we miss, I'm okay with it. I just, it's a little different, matchup there. So it'll be interesting to see. We're getting some lineups in. We don't have a crazy amount of lineups in yet, so. I actually thought we'd have kind of more by this time of the show, but
yeah,
we don't. So I'm just going to go down the game list. Again, I like a little Boyd. I also don't hate Soto versus him. He's just been crushing lefties. And again, I like Gill on the other side. I get it that that top of the lineup, Quan, J-Ram, right, Brennan, like they don't K a ton, but he's got a good ump and. That's just game theory leverage for me.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't see any priorities. Soto and Judge both look good, but they're also expensive.
Yep. Excuse me, boys and girls. I'm indifferent on the Reds, Blue Jays tonight. I want Vlad to stay hot just for best ball semis, but other than that, I'm not going to either side in that game.
Yeah, I don't love either side either. I don't mind like an Ellie or Friedel's been hitting good, so just like a mini red stack would be fun.
Yep. Mets are back in play for me. Again, Kremer's been horrendous versus left-handers, right? I'm surprised they kept Vientos in the 2-hole versus him, and didn't move like Winker or McNeil up just because I like his splits versus lefties. And the O's have been cold. The wind's blowing in a little bit in New York, but I don't hate the Mets today. I definitely have them in a pool of your size for sure.
Yeah, I think the Mets are fine. They're priced pretty reasonably. Most of them are under 5K, which is nice. They just have a lot of good position eligibility too.
Yeah, it just gives you a ton of options with their mix and match. And like I said, McNeil down at the bottom at second base is $3,500. Alvarez, still only 3,200 after the walk-off homer. Total's 8 in Philly tonight. I'm not messing with the bats in Philly or Atlanta. The only spot I don't like, I would have some exposure to, is some right because Wheeler's going to be owned. Is I like some Laureano in the 2-hole at 3K. Like I think that's a nice salary saver today.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. Laureano, and that's pretty much it. I wouldn't mind getting to a little bit of Sean Murphy, but
yep. So I kind of like that side. I can get that. Again, Murphy's still cheap. He's still only $3,700. I like me some Brew Crew today versus Mr. Fetty. They're priced right. A 5-man stack is sub 4K. We think we're going to see Tyler Black in the 3-hole at $2,500 at first base. That's a great spot to hit some salary savings. What do you think of the Brew Crew today?
Yeah, I like them too. I think they look good. This game for offense looks pretty good, although Vegas don't really think so. But the Brewers are just cheap. You can fit 2 good pitchers with the Brewers and another solid stack, so it makes them really interesting.
And if you want to bring somebody back, right? Like Gorman is cheap, right? He's $3,400. He kills righties, and Montas is terrible against lefties. So I don't mind the lefty bats from St. Louis tonight. Again, it's 7.5, but we got to pick and choose some spots. The totals suck everywhere. So we're going to have to pick and choose. today.
Yep.
Tigers Cubs 7.5 total. I'm not interested in this game. Not on a 13 game slate.
No, I have a little bit of interest in Bellinger. That's pretty much it. I like the lefties, but they really only have Bellinger's the only one that really draws my attention, and Hap.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see where they do. I wish PCA was like $2,500 instead of $3K.
Yep.
I'm thinking about some flop lag Rangers tonight. Like I'm thinking about going back there against old Mitchie in the pin. They project pretty well. Their price is right. They're not super owned. They're going to make my pool. I don't know if they make my single entry, but they're going to make my 3-max pool.
Yeah, I think they look good too. Seager especially, he's been on a tear. I like the lefties going against Keller. I also don't mind some bats on the other side against Bradford. He's really struggled to righties, and Pitt can throw out they'll probably throw out about 6 to 7 of them. So I like getting there too.
Yep. I like some Red Sox lefty bats versus Cy Blanco, right? His splits righty lefty, is really bad, and the Red Sox stacked that left-handed lineup, right? So we'll look at them today. And again, I like the Pavetta side. Listen, if you want to play Yarden, I get it. Like, totally understand, right? Pavetta has been known to give up a fly ball or two. So I don't hate having Yarden on that side. It's just nobody's pitching him. It's just some game leverage for me. And I think looking at ownership, I think people are going to take what I'm seeing is I think people are going to know that about Pavetta. The Astros are going to get some steam in single entry, and I think there's going to be some leverage there.
Yeah, I like that. I don't have a ton of interest in Houston besides Jordan. I need him for my best ball team, so hopefully he does well. But I do have interest in Boston going against Blanco. He's been killed by lefties, and their top 4 hitters are lefties. Plus, you got Yoshida in the 6 hole. I think all of them look good.
Yep, I agree. Right, and then you shed O'Neal's 5,500 salary. I like both sides of the KC game. Right, like I get Cole. Game theory is going to tell you to play some Angels tonight. And I don't hate, just again, if I was playing 20 max it up, I'd have at least one Tyler Anderson share. Right. Bobby Witt's been the best hitter in baseball this half. He's always in play for me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't care to get to both sides. I think the Royals look good. If they get steamed, I'm fine getting away from them. I think there's other spots we can target with that same total, but Bobby Witt's he's on another level right now.
Yeah, he's just out of control at this point.
Yeah.
I like the Rays. I think Lau's going to be in a good spot. Junior's still only $3,100, man. This is a spot, right? This is a spot in Oakland, right? We got a little wind blowing out. It's going to be 72 degrees. Like, this is like an ideal matchup. But those lefty bats, I like, give me Josh, right? Like, even, punt and catcher going down to Rotavert. I don't hate that there. And I don't hate, listen, they're home run dependent, but again, the A's will save you some salary. Shane hasn't been great yet coming back, so I don't mind that spot for them.
Yeah, kind of like both teams here. They're both cheap. They're both good 5-man stacks, and then you can fill it with a solid 2 to 3-man stack. So I like both of these stacks.
Cool. I'm not really I don't get the time. I've got the Twins right all season. They've been my cards this year. But I get wanting to play Royce against a lefty. So he's been, I like Royce there. Ober, I'm just indifferent. Like, I think he'll be fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Twins are interesting in large field just because, I doubt they're going to get very much steam. I like Royce, and then they got a lot of cheap bats you can fill around it. And I actually like Kyle Farmer a little bit at second base shortstop. And when it comes to the Padres, I don't really like targeting Ober. He's been good, but it's just they don't K much. It's the only reason I don't really have a ton of interest in Ober.
Yeah, they just don't K enough. Like they don't K. Like they're pretty disciplined at the plate. Game theory says play some socks against Robbie, right? Like in his ownership, while he works his way back, right? Luis Roberts probably underpriced against him, right? I mean, his price is there because they are in San Francisco. Total's low. I get it. Pitcher's Park. I like Fitzy again. I'm just shortstop so deep every day anymore. And Grant McCray is going to break out one of these nights. So he's still $2,600. The kid can hit. I'm going to keep using him.
Yeah, it's a bad park for offense, but the Giants are in really one of the best matchups on the slate, and they're going against one of the worst bullpens on the slate. So I think they're pretty interesting. You can make an argument to using them. And I think one of the White Sox is probably going to hit a home run on Ray. I just don't know which one, but Robert is probably the best guess.
Yeah, it's just pricing, right? Like it's just, as I look at it, it's just pricing versus, what's available and what's there. So Dodgers haven't seen a ton of Bryce Miller. So, they just don't have a ton of bats against him. And he's been, pretty good against righties. I don't hate some lefty bats, right? Again, it's Shohei, right? He can hit a home run and steal 2 bases anytime he wants at this point, really. Freddie's only 5,200. Muncie's working his way back. They priced him up. Lux is still cheap. I don't hate that side. I like the Mariners side. Buehler's just not himself yet, right? Like he's working his way back. Robles is still 3,700. Cal is there. Rayleigh, I'm really hoping they put Hanger in tonight. Hanger's kind of hit the shit out of Buehler in his career so far. So I'm hoping we see a little Mitchie. But, I don't know. They're going to be lineup dependent. I want some flexibility for swapping later. So I'm probably not going to attack in single entry as many of the early games. I'm probably going to go after some of the later games today.
Yeah, I like that. The Mariners let me down last night, but you're looking at the highest total, and the Dodgers aren't that big a favorite. So I'm pretty interested in both offenses here, but I do lean the Mariners just because of pricing. I don't think Buehler's right yet.
And I think people stay off of them because of what Seattle did last night.
Yep.
So, yep. Cool. All right, sir. Well, we'll see you all on Discord. Let's go have a good night, and we'll talk to you boys and girls soon.
Let's do it.
Oh, hey, we didn't even get to our moonshot. What am I doing? I was going to kick you guys off, but hey, I got to call you because I know who I got. Who you got today?
Today I'm going with Josh Lau.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's for sure going good. Yeah. So I really like that spot. I'm still mad at myself for not going Seager. Like that was just such a I still can't believe I didn't put it in. I'm such a dum-dum. I think Tristan Casas gets going again, right? He's got a week back now. He's getting loose, right? Like he's getting warmed up. It's a great matchup for him. He's still priced like way higher than he should be because he's working his way back. So I like Casas tonight.
I like it.
Cool. All right. We'll see you all tomorrow.